Good evening. All right, let's try this again. Good evening. That was pretty weak. I'm going to try it third time be the charm. Good evening. Much better. So we all get our marching orders, and Bill Anderson gave me mine coming up here, and so I am to instruct you to please start dining on your salads. And Bill is going to come around to make sure everybody eats their salads before you start on dessert. So I'm very honored to get the chance to start this program off this evening, and it is such an honor and privilege to be here for what I consider one of the most important events that we get to do every year, and that is celebrating our MeckEd Teachers of Excellence. Phenomenal. Our lives begin to end when we fail to speak about the things that truly matter. Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, when he said those words, I can only imagine how inspirational they were at the time, but I reflect on those words all the time. Because what we're coming together this evening to do is to speak about the things that matter the most, to speak about education, to speak about our children, and to speak about the most important part of that opportunity to educate every child every day for a better tomorrow, and that is to have amazing teachers in our schools. So we are here tonight to lift up and speak about the things that truly matter. MeckEd is an organization whose full and total purpose is to help us as a community find voice, to speak up and lift up about those things that truly matter. Our lives begin to end when we fail to speak about the things that really matter. I think about those words all the time because, as I shared last year, I am in front of this auditorium tonight because of those things that truly matter, and that is our quality teachers. I was born in poverty. My mother didn't graduate, and I did not have access to early childhood. So the data suggests that if nothing else happened, I should not be here this evening. But what happened for me was great teachers. Great teachers gave me a great education. A great education helped lift me out of poverty. Along that pathway, I made things really challenging on teachers, and I started to get off of that path that they were trying so hard to keep me on. And the further I started to drift from it, the more they pulled me in. I speak about two teachers all the time, Mr. Cloyd and Miss Leach, who made a difference in my life. They saw past a lot of challenges that I was putting forward, and they saw opportunity, young man, and they got me to be the first in my family to go to college. I understand why this is one of the most important things to speak about. And so I celebrate MeckEd, the organization dedicated to advocating for public education. I celebrate the board of MeckEd. I celebrate the leadership of Bill Anderson, because he reminds our community never to take a quality public education for granted. Education is the thing that can and does all the time lift children out of poverty. A quality education is the path that allows students to have that better tomorrow. But when we take it for granted, we just make assumptions about its priority and its importance, we wake up and we begin to realize that things are happening that we're not comfortable with. And MeckEd reminds everybody. MeckEd makes people a little uncomfortable. Sometimes they put light on Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools and data where we need to improve, and we own that. They shed light in terms of decisions that are made at the state and local level, in terms of funding and priorities, and sometimes that makes people uncomfortable. But they are reminding us that we must always lift up and give voice to the things that truly matter. MeckEd brings us together tonight to celebrate extraordinary teachers. MeckEd reminds us that we must always celebrate great teaching. Every time I meet a teacher, whether they are currently employed in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, teaching anywhere, or have taught in our school district, I thank them for their service. And I mean that sincerely. I think about the fact that when I was that young man struggling in school, my father proudly served in our military. And a matter of fact, the first time I remember a memory of my father was coming home from Vietnam. And his reaction and reception by his community was not warm or welcoming. And I struggled about how this man that I had never met before could be thought of by people, our neighbors in our community, in a way that did not bring honor to what I thought he was doing. Now, that was an unfortunate time period in our country, but somehow our country started to remember that that's not the right response. That they started to remember that the men and women who proudly serve in the military are heroes and sheroes, and they give the ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedoms. Somehow today, when we see people in the military, we celebrate their service, and we lift them up, and we honor them for keeping our country safe and helping us have a better tomorrow. We've got to start having that same reaction in our country to teachers, because teachers sacrifice, not at the same level or the same way that men and women in the military do, but they sacrifice every day. They sacrifice their time, they sacrifice their talent, they sacrifice their passion to educate every child. Their hard work each and every day allows every child to fulfill their potential. That allows every community to have the chance for a rich economy. And in just the same way our military is dedicated to our future and the protection of everything we hold dear, that's what our teachers do as well. And so, MeckEd, we thank you for remembering us to thank our teachers for their service. If you are a MeckEd Teacher of the Year, let me be the first to ask you to stand this evening. And on behalf of everyone in this room, let's let it be heard how much we appreciate these amazing leaders. We honor you. We celebrate you. I see Mr. Davis, one of our Board of Education members who proudly has served in the military. He'd probably say we salute you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do for our children, our community, and our school district. Thank you, MeckEd, for reminding us how important it is to celebrate these extraordinary leaders in our community. Thank you, MeckEd, for reminding us that we never can take for granted the importance of a quality public education. Our lives begin to end when we fail to speak about the things that truly matter. Let's not ever forget that what matters is our teachers and our students and that better tomorrow. Thank you, and I would now like to introduce one of the Board of MeckEd, Molly Griffith.
Good evening. You'll notice on your program that I'm supposed to be Natalie English, and I am not Natalie English. She is the wonderful chair of the MeckEd Board of Directors, but she had a little accident over the weekend. She's fine, but she couldn't join us tonight, so I'm substituting. I'll do my best. I am a former member of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Board of Education and a current proud member of the MeckEd Board. I'm so pleased to welcome you all here to this wonderful night to celebrate our excellent teachers. I bring you greetings from all of my colleagues on the MeckEd Board. MeckEd is an independent, nonpartisan, and nonprofit organization. We objectively inform our community and engage our community around the critical issues facing public education. I hope most of you already receive our electronic newsletter. For those of you who are younger than I am and are on social media, you can pull out your phones and like MeckEd on Facebook and follow @MeckEd on Twitter. At this point, I'd like to ask my colleagues who are here tonight from the MeckEd Board of Directors to stand so we can thank them for volunteering their time, talent, expertise, and support in pursuit of excellent public education for every child, regardless of the zip code in Mecklenburg County. I'd also like to recognize the members of the CMS Board of Education who are with us this evening. Please stand. I know I've seen several of you. I know firsthand the amount of time and dedication and hard work it takes to do what you do, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if we have any other elected officials here. I did see Dumont Clark from the Board of County Commission. Would you please stand, Dumont? And if there are any other elected officials here, please stand. As a nonprofit, MeckEd relies on and depends on donations from businesses, foundations, and individuals so that we can sustain this critical programming for our community. Tonight, we want to thank many of these same partners who have helped make this night possible. Thank you first to our leadership sponsor, U.S. Airways, for your commitment to our educators. Thank you also to our achievement sponsors, 1060 Creative, Allen Tate Companies, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and the YMCA of Greater Charlotte. Thank you also to our educator sponsors, Novant Health, Piedmont Natural Gas, and TIAA CREF. Thank you also to our advocate sponsors, AI Design Group, the Charlotte Chamber, Northeastern University Charlotte, PwC, Snyder's Lance, and the Weston Charlottes. And finally, I want to thank the following organizations for their support to make tonight possible: the Charlotte Bobcats, Coca-Cola Bottling Company Consolidated, Livingston and Haven, and UNC Charlotte. Again, thank you all for being here for this wonderful night, and I'm going to turn the podium over to MeckEd's wonderful Executive Director, Dr. Bill Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. And I hope you noticed that we did make one little mistake in the sponsors. It's no longer the Charlotte Bobcats, it's the Charlotte Hornets. I want to thank Molly for pinch hitting for Natalie. Natalie broke her foot, and Natalie hates that she can't be here, and she asked me to apologize on her behalf for not being here. But one of the things that MeckEd is so fortunate to have is a very strong board of directors who are very committed to our work. As Molly said, I'm Bill Anderson. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight with all these wonderful people, and I'm proud to lead the organization MeckEd, which is the local education advocacy group in our community. For those of you who don't know it, I was also a teacher, assistant principal, and back when I was a high school principal, I knew that the most important job that I ever had was to, first of all, find and hire good teachers, but then secondly, hang on to them. There's no in-school factor that makes a bigger impact on a child's future than having great teachers. And we're so excited tonight to recognize 20 of the best in our community. As you know, it's been a tough time being a teacher in North Carolina, and the General Assembly is back in Raleigh today to debate teacher raises, among other items, as our county commissioners are also talking about what they can do to support our teachers. But it was just 3 short years ago that MeckEd realized there was a tremendous void in our community when it comes to recognizing the best and brightest educators in our classrooms. We wanted to recognize more teachers, and especially those who were the most effective. We know there are thousands more in CMS and across the state who teach our children every day, but they receive very few accolades and very little recognition. Tonight, MeckEd wants to send a very clear message, and that message is MeckEd values these wonderful teachers here with us tonight, and we also value the profession of teaching. We do, however, worry that many of these stellar young people who are educators are often thinking about going in other directions and leaving the teaching profession. But tonight, I promise, is going to be about celebration and thanks, and we're going to try to remain as positive and upbeat as possible. At this point, we're going to ask that you enjoy the rest of your salads. We're going to start serving the food, and we will start the program back up in a few minutes. So I do hope that you enjoy your meals at this time. Thank you. And I'm going to start by talking a little bit about what MeckEd does as an organization. And one of the critical components of MeckEd's program of work is called our Career Pathways program, which connects high school students to work-based learning opportunities like internships and apprenticeships. At this time, I would like to welcome Steve Partridge, the President and CEO of Charlotte Works and a tremendous partner for MeckEd, to the podium and share why this work is so important. Steve?
Of course, Bill puts me on right as you get into the dinner, so please continue. We're going to talk a little about work-based learning. Many of you in the room are probably around my age or older and probably got that work-based learning experience from a job in summer or after school. I remember one of my first jobs was actually in a factory producing ice cream, those big 5-gallon tubs. And it taught me a lot about the workforce, and it also taught me I hated making ice cream every day after school. So part of what we're trying to do in our community is get that exposure to kids about what it's like to work in a factory, in a retail store, anywhere, because what's happened nowadays as the economy's changed is many of the jobs youth used to hold after school or weekends or in the summer, adults have taken as they've been displaced, and people have been underemployed, and those jobs for youth have dried up. And also, we have a huge skills gap in this country, partly driven by people don't know what it takes to succeed in certain careers. When you talk to your parents, the first thing rolling off their tongue is not, hey, I want your son or daughter to go into manufacturing because that's the future. You don't hear that. And it's partly because manufacturing's contracted a lot. But now, as it's a renaissance of manufacturing in the United States, it's a different type of manufacturing. It's high-tech manufacturing. You're using laptops and keyboards and have to know math and science and engineering to be successful. They also pay a great salary. But what we're finding is kids don't know about these jobs. Parents and teachers don't know these jobs exist. And so what they're learning in the classroom, they can't equate to what it would do in the real world. So we want to do more in our community to expose students and teachers and community leaders to the opportunities. We've launched a new website called the Youth Business Connector as a tool to get businesses to offer work-based learning. Now that doesn't have to start off as an apprenticeship or internship. That can be coming to speak to a classroom, doing a job shadowing. We kind of look at that sort of gateway opportunity. This is a way for you to get exposure to students because these are your future workforce. And what people don't realize is many industries right now, even as we start to recover, have a lot of pressure to find good workers. The airline industry right now is struggling to find pilots. Manufacturers across the country say they cannot replace people fast enough. Their workforce is the 55 and up crowd, and for every person they lose with 20 or 30 years experience, they can't find anyone even interested in filling those jobs. So that's why you're hearing a lot about apprenticeship come back. And so I'm making the pitch to the businesses in the room today to sign up on the Youth Business Connector, to offer those opportunities, because it's not a give back we're asking for. It's an investment in your future workforce. Giving the exposure may end up turning into your future employee, but just learning that you hate the job is beneficial to our community, because with $1 trillion in student debt, we want kids going to things they're excited about and want to do and not learn about it after they got a 4-year degree and spent all that money and said, you know, I really don't like being an attorney. So we hope you will be part of this movement. Our goal is to offer every CMS graduate, before they graduate, an internship. And just to give you an idea of scope, you know how many people graduate here. We're probably right now in trackable internships at about 1,000 a year. We're looking for 7,000 a year. So we have to really scale this up and do a lot more as a community. So I challenge you today to help us meet that goal and visit the youthbusinessconnector.com. And now to sort of talk about the Pathways program in practice, I'd like to invite William McGee and Jeffrey Barahona to the stage.
Good evening, CMS teachers and community members. My name is Jeffrey Barahona, and I'm a junior at Harding University High School. At the beginning of the school year, I reached out to one of my counselors to ask about internships, and she directed me to Ms. Estrada. Hey, Ms. Estrada. My career pathways advisor. In the first month of school, Ms. Estrada let me know about an opportunity to job shadow at Livingston and Haven. While I was job shadowing there, I went to the engineering department, and something about a giant machine that can shred aluminum like paper is just absolutely fascinating. It's awesome. So soon afterwards, I got off the job shadow. Ms. Estrada offered me an opportunity to sign up for Livingston and Haven, an opportunity for a paid internship. So I was all ears for that, definitely. So after she helped me set up my resume, and believe me, I needed help setting up that resume, I interviewed for both the engineering department and the research and development department. After interviewing for both, I was selected for the Genesis department with the research and development. So since I started this internship, I've been able to build a charge controller, assemble a trolley for solar panels, and I've gotten experience working with electronics. So, well, thinking back, I think one of the most important projects, or the one that I think most fascinating to me, is the Oasis project, a solar-powered water purifying apparatus. The thing is awesome. I've been allowed to put a few together. I fixed a few that weren't set up properly. So what I think was really important about this is that it gave me the opportunity to get experience in this field, you know? If it weren't for Ms. Estrada and the Career Pathways program connecting me to this internship opportunity, right now I think I'd probably be at home watching TV. Yeah. So this gave me the push I needed to keep pursuing this career, because the opportunities I've seen, the things I've done at this internship made me realize, hey, I can actually do these things. It's possible.
All right, good evening. My name is Will McGee. I'm a junior at Independence High School, and currently am an IT intern at Livingston and Haven. So my story is a lot like Jeffrey's, in the fact that throughout the year we have a periodic check with our counselors to check grades and all this, and I've been seeing a lot of internships go through our school, and I was wondering how I could get into this field really. And my counselor directed me towards Dr. Rusty, who is my career pathway advisor. A little bit of a mouthful. But so I went and talked to him, and he told me about an internship at Livingston and Haven, and the only issue was the deadline for the resumes was really fast approaching, so I was able to really form together my resume quickly and have my ROTC instructor, Sergeant Bell, to look over it, Dr. Rusty to look over it, and even my mom to look over it. So, because I mean, why not? Everybody needs a little motherly advice. So I went and I ended up turning in my resume to 3 different departments in the company. Those departments being the Genesis, R&D, the IT department, and the S3 Industries, engineering. So what really happened was I had all 3 interviews back to back, literally an hour and a half of straight interviewing. And it was a little bit of a marathon, but honestly, I really felt confident about all 3 interviews, and I ended up getting the IT internship. And I was really accepted to a family that day, and it was really special for me because everybody there knows everybody, and I wasn't just doing menial tasks. I wasn't a janitor intern. I wasn't sweeping the floor, dusting the cabinets, although I will say I was blasting out dust out of a computer with industrial-sized air compressors, so that was a little bit cool. And it was just such a great experience and such great job experience, and I would have never been able. Well, actually, some of the things that I've been able to do that really affect the company is I had to do a Microsoft audit on over 200 computers. I had to network 4 giant industrial machines, and I also created a dozen tutorials on the Livingston and Haven internet. So, I mean, those job experiences, they don't come through school. They come through actual real-world experience. And literally anyone in the company can go and see my work. And, I mean, that just means so much to me. I would have never gotten that opportunity without MeckEd and getting connected through them, and especially not without Dr. Rusty. And I mean, just thank you so much, and thank you so much for letting us speak tonight. It's been a real pleasure.
It's been an honor. Thank you.
One more thing. Thank you very much for investing in us. because it really has made a difference, and it really does set in stone what we want to do in the future. And just thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm probably going to upset some MeckEd staffers, but I'm going to go off script for a minute. The Career Pathways program, first of all, it's probably important for me to give you a little of my background. I used to be a high school principal, as I said earlier, and I gave out about 600 diplomas a year. And I am convinced that there were probably 150 to 200 students who really didn't know what they were going to do. The Career Pathways program is MeckEd's direct student services program, and our whole goal is to help students while they're still in high school learn some workplace learning type opportunities to learn what the world of work really is. And as Steve said earlier, the world of work is changing very rapidly. I want to make it very clear, MeckEd is not anti-college, and we're not anti-college at all. But what we are is we want students to have a better clue about what the real careers are out in the world. And we are convinced, and research supports this, that if students, while they're still in high school, have these workplace learning opportunities, it helps them make better decisions. Some of our European industrialized countries are really beating our butt in this. It's a part of their culture. Their culture believes that you give students these opportunities while they're still in high school, and they make better decisions. The success stories that we've had as a result of Career Pathways are phenomenal. Our superintendent gets this in a big way. CMS is trying to move in this direction. So we really believe that this is the future, and MeckEd's glad to be on the cutting edge of it. Okay, back on script. Let's have another round for those young men. MeckEd is very grateful to have the support of many organizations, but there's one organization that we're really appreciative of that supports our work and supports the work of many students at all different ages, and that's the YMCA of Greater Charlotte. At this time, please join me in welcoming Steve Gassaway, a YMCA volunteer and member of the WISE Community Development Committee, who will say a few words. Steve?
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. And as you were just told, I'm an active Y volunteer. I'm on our Community Development Committee for the Greater Charlotte Metro Y. We're about raising money and awareness of issues that affect the less fortunate in our community. And you'll hear about some of those as I speak in a minute. First of all, congratulations to the 20 winners. I think it's a wonderful achievement, and I know a lot of hard work goes into that. Our daughter is a third-year teacher in Newark, New Jersey, and I think we've seen firsthand the incredible amount of work and dedication and heartache, but also the tremendous results that can come out of that and how you, teachers, can really impact lives. I'm going to go off script for a little bit. I saw this little card in our programs, and it's really neat seeing the attention the teacher pay is getting in our newspapers and on TV and everything else, because I'm in the business community and I don't think there's anything more important that we have going on than keeping our best teachers and the impact that has on our overall community. So, I want to give a brief overview of the Y's work in education. I'm sure many of you know the Y through our 19 branches and sort of the gym and swim type initiatives that have historically been there. But we really are committed to the Charlotte community, and we want you to be aware of the intentional work the Y has been doing in education, specifically work to support academic achievement in our community. The YMCA has been working with Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools since 1999 to offer Y Readers, a literacy program supporting 1st to 3rd grade students. The program takes place at Title I schools for 6 weeks in the summers and operates as an after-school program during the school year. The Y partners with CMS, local principals, and teachers to offer the program. Excellent teachers have been vital to the success of the Y Readers program. Certified teachers are the secret sauce that makes Y Readers so effective. More recently, the Y launched Y Achievers, a career and college readiness program that is currently serving students at Vance, West Meck, and West Charlotte high schools. Collectively, 39 schools and over 1,100 children in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools are being impacted through Y Readers, Y Achievers, and several of the Y's After Branch initiatives. The Y's work isn't only having local impact here in Charlotte. The Y's national office, YMCA of the USA, launched a nationwide strategy 2 years ago to eliminate the achievement gap throughout the country and early learning summer reading loss, after school and career and college readiness programs. Our Y Readers program was adopted as the national model for summer learning and will be implemented across the country in nearly 50 cities this summer. Now, to recognize the teachers, the Y believes in the importance of helping children reach their full potential. The Y wants to invest in you and your health so that you can feel your best and be your best when working with the youth in our community. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce the YMCA is recognizing the 20 Teachers of Excellence Award winners with a gift of 6 months membership to the YMCA of Greater Charlotte. This membership is for you and your entire family to help you better serve your students. So congratulations again, and thank you for the dedication of the students in our community.
I'm going to go off script again. I need to recognize this man right here, Mike Duvall. Would you please stand up? Mike Duvall from the YMCA is the one who made that happen. So teachers, we think that your physical health is as well as your mental health is important as your mental health. So I really want to thank the Y for believing in MeckEd and also believing in our teachers. Thanks again. Now it's the best part of the program, the presentation of the awards. Okay. Several months ago, we asked each CMS principal to nominate a teacher in their school who embodies excellence. The selection committee then looked at all the nominations and evaluated the teachers on their achievements in the classroom, their contributions to the teaching profession, and their service to the community. Our 20 honorees are smart, compassionate, driven educators who make their schools a better place. Now it's time to begin the awards. We will move in random order and we'll show a brief video about each nominee. We'd ask our teachers of excellence to wait until the video finishes before coming to the stage. So here we go. Our first nominee is Ashley Fawerda.
Ashley Fawerda is a 4th grade math teacher at Reedy Creek Elementary School. Her students don't just do well, they consistently exceed growth expectations. Ashley builds a community of learners who support each other. That extends to her fellow teachers who rely on Ashley for professional development. Her principal says it's exciting to go into other classrooms and see Ashley's signature moves at work. She brings love, admiration, and pure joy to the schoolhouse every day, spreading her passion among students, teachers, and staff.
Let us please recognize Ashley at this time. Ashley? Our next honoree, our second honoree, is Ashley Giblin.
Ashley Giblin teaches 8th grade math and Algebra 1 at Berry Hill School. Her principal says Ashley understands her students and the learning process to a degree that is exceptional, even among Berry Hill's best teachers. She has a creative imagination and has worked hard to expand opportunities for students to be exposed to the high school math curriculum. Thanks to Ashley's leadership, every Berry Hill 8th grader takes the EOG math test and the EOC Algebra 1 test. Her enthusiasm and collaborative spirit have made this program a success.
Our third honoree tonight is Mindy Mahar.
Mindy Mahar teaches 7th and 8th grade math and science at Sedgefield Middle School. Mindy's principal says she's an innovative and highly effective teacher who uses differentiated lesson plans to help her students succeed. Mindy puts in plenty of extra time to meet with her students and their parents to make sure that children are prepared for college and careers. She's also a leader beyond the classroom. Mindy has created science performance tasks that are now used across CMS, and she serves as a consultant for other adolescent Montessori programs.
Mindy? And our fourth honoree is Suna Shukra. Suna?
Sana Chakra teaches science at the Military and Global Leadership Academy at Marie G. Davis. Her attention to detail and focused instruction allow all the students in her class to excel. Her principal says Sana never leaves anyone behind, and her students' test scores prove it. In her 4 years at Marie G. Davis, Sana has grown 8th grade science EOG scores by nearly 40 percentage points. Sana is fluent in Arabic and French and is also a licensed math teacher. Her energy is contagious, her love for her students is admirable, and the gifts she gives to her school do not go unnoticed by her community.
And our fifth honoree of the evening is Phyllis Robinson.
Phyllis Robinson teaches 4th grade math and science at Steel Creek Elementary School. Her principal says Phyllis provides an amazing learning experience for her students and has that special something only great teachers possess. She instills confidence and determination in her students to become successful 21st century leaders and lifelong learners. She's a mentor to fellow teachers and a positive force inside her school, providing everything from encouraging words to model math and science lessons during planning sessions. Phyllis is a positive force for good in the classroom and in her students' lives.
And our sixth honoree of the evening is Kelly Freeheit.
Kelly Freeheit is a 7th and 8th grade science teacher at Walter G. Byers School. Her principal says Kelly is an out-of-the-box thinker who is always willing to try new things to support her students' social, emotional, and academic well-being. She takes the initiative to research effective strategies and resources to implement for enrichment and remediation. Kelly's students have achieved high growth status thanks to her impact in the classroom. Kelly is the middle school team leader, mentors a second-year teacher, and is a relentless advocate for her school by reaching out to community partners.
All right, throughout the night, we're going to be drawing several prizes for our teachers as an extra thank you from our community for all the hard work that they've done. Our first drawing is for a $50 gift certificate to Sullivan's Steakhouse. And the winner is Robert Egnott. Robert?
No, I'm not. Definitely not.
And our second drawing is for a one-night weekend stay with breakfast for two right here in the Westin Hotel. Pretty nice. And the winner is Sarah Fisher. Okay, now let's continue with our awards. Our next Teacher of Excellence is Allie Jo Tenbig.
Allie Jo Tenbig is a pre-K teacher at Sterling Elementary School. Her drive for excellence is outstanding. Her principal says Allie Jo does all the usual amazing things an early childhood educator does, but then kicks it up a notch to amazing levels. Her 4-year-old students are already talking about what college they want to attend and how to be career ready. She involves families as partners in fostering a foundation for strong literacy behaviors and for the children's long-term success. She pushes her students to learn and to follow her example of giving just a little more than you thought was possible.
And our 8th honoree of the evening is Laura Bennett.
Laura Bennett is a 5th grade math and science teacher at Joseph Greer Academy. Her principal calls her a leader in the school who works to make sure all students receive the support services they need. Laura comes in early and stays late to tutor her students every week, and she mentors several fellow teachers while serving as the grade level chair. Laura is a natural leader and serves as an outstanding role model for students and staff.
Our 9th honoree tonight is Beth Linkston.
Beth Linkston is a master Spanish teacher for 9th through 12th grade students at International Studies and Global Economics at Olympic High School. She was instrumental in establishing the response to intervention model, and she was one of just 3 teachers in the country to pilot a stay-in-school leadership graduation focus for America's Promise. The principal says Beth is always on the hunt for leadership opportunities for her students. She's also encouraged the implementation of staff development that has improved lesson design delivery to all students by all teachers and staff.
Our next honoree is Miss Dawn Salters.
Dawn Salters teaches 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math at McClintock Middle School. Dawn was one of the main reasons why McClintock was selected as one of 15 schools in the country to pilot the Teach to One math program. In addition to her work in the classroom, Dawn coaches the girls' basketball and track teams and mentors new math teachers. Her principal says Dawn is the very best of what McClintock has to offer students, and they're lucky she's able to have a positive impact on children from all grade levels.
Our next honoree tonight is Patrick Sahad.
Patrick Saad teaches business education at Providence High School. His classes focus on entrepreneurship and multimedia design. He is the advisor to the Future Business Leaders of America Club and always incorporates real-world scenarios into his classes, including discussions about how to have an appropriate online footprint. His principal says after Patrick's curriculum night presentation, parents left excited about entrepreneurship, saying they wanted to be in his class. Patrick has taught at the community college level, but remains passionate about his impact on students at Providence. He's the co-chair of the school leadership team and is a member of the technology team, which works to train all teachers to incorporate technology into their classrooms.
Our next teacher of excellence is Miss Coco Ellis.
Coco Ellis teaches 8th grade science at Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School. Her principal says even though Coco is in her 2nd year of teaching, her classroom is a model for other teachers. Coco uses high-yield teaching strategies that help her students master science concepts, and her students exceeded growth on last year's EOG. She utilizes data to make the best instructional decisions for her students. Coco is the 8th grade team leader and has been an integral part in planning and raising money for this year's class trip to Washington, D.C. Coco is a natural at building relationships with all students and is a model teacher leader.
All right, before we continue with the rest of our awards, we have an opportunity at this time to award one of our teachers a scholarship for a free course at Northeastern University, Charlotte. And I'd like to especially thank MeckEd board member Dr. Cheryl Richards, who is the CEO and Regional Dean, for making this scholarship possible. The Northeastern campus offers 18 graduate programs, 2 which may directly correlate with the work of a majority of those in attendance tonight. Northeastern's Master and Doctorate of Education programs explore many of the critical issues facing today's educators in technology, distance learning, globalization, creative and critical thinking and assessments. Tonight, we'd like to assist a lucky winner in jump-starting the next step in their career by offering a free course through Northeastern's College of Professional Studies, which includes both the Master's and Doctor of Education programs. And the winner is Patrick Saad. And now we'll continue with our awards. Our next MeckEd Teacher of Excellence is Julie McConnell.
Julie McConnell teaches biology at Huff High School and is a self-proclaimed nutty professor. Her principal says Julie is brilliant in her curriculum, loves teaching, and is the teacher every parent wants for their child. She mesmerizes and challenges her students on a daily basis, using innovative approaches to help explain complex ideas. It's not uncommon to find her and her students outside the classroom while learning about biology. Her level of commitment and service to students, parents, and staff is exemplary.
And our next Teacher of Excellence is Sarah Fisher.
Sarah Fisher is a kindergarten teacher at Whitewater Academy, where she's in her 10th year of teaching. She works tirelessly to develop processes and systems for the school's kindergarten, first grade, and second grade teachers. In addition to outstanding classroom achievements, Sarah works on a long list of school projects. She planned Whitewater's Curl Up and Read Day and its Family Literacy Night.
Our next MeckEd Teacher of Excellence is Amanda Wheeler.
Amanda Wheeler teaches 6th grade science at Bailey Middle School. She consistently uses video clips, interactive games, and lab simulations to make her classes exciting. Her students regularly work in collaborative groups to complete inquiry-based activities and are encouraged to discuss and support their findings. Amanda pushes her students to learn about how science impacts their lives at a local and global level. Each year, her students have the opportunity to Skype with NASA staff to ask questions about their work. She leads off-site professional development for science and technology, and she serves as a mentor to a beginning teacher.
And our next MeckEd Teacher of Excellence is Robert Egnott.
Robert Egnott teaches 7th grade social studies at Piedmont Middle School. He brings history alive in his classroom, often dressing in character to inspire his students. In one recent lesson, Robert dressed in period costume for students to experience a world fair. His lessons are interactive, highly engaging, and often involve student projects and presentations. One project required students to research a historical figure and deliver a monologue in English as well as Spanish or French. Robert also serves as the school's golf coach and is the secretary of the intervention team.
And our next MeckEd Teacher of Excellence is Silas Fincher.
Silas Fincher teaches Math 1 and Pre-Calculus at Ardrey-Kell High School. He fosters relationships with his students that display his open heart and determination for their success. Silas breaks down difficult mathematic concepts and makes sure to relate them to the real world. He believes in reaching the whole child, shown through his lessons on the Peace Corps and his leadership in the school. Silas serves as an advisor to the Sophomore Class Council and the Committed Young Christians Association. More than anything, his principal says the countless hours Silas spends working with each student, encouraging their growth as young men and women, exemplifies why Silas is an outstanding educator.
I feel like I know so many of these teachers because we've read their evaluations again and again. And this guy actually shaved his head, carved initials into his head for his students. Is that right?
No.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, must have been somebody else.
No, I think it must have been.
Let's do this again. So I need to know, who is the teacher that shaved his head? There he is. Stand up. There he is. Sorry. Congratulations, Silas. So much for going off script, right, Aaron? Okay. Our next MeckEd Teacher of Excellence is Lance Cantor.
Lance Cantor teaches 8th grade math at Community House Middle School. His proficiency scores are outstanding, and he has produced some of the highest growth data for the district for several years running. It's not uncommon for 95 to 100% of his students to meet their growth goals. Recently, he promised to shave into his hair the initials of any student who earned a perfect score on the EOC tests. And true to his promise, Lance showed up to class with 2 sets of initials shaved into his hair. That's typical of his willingness to go above and beyond for his students.
Our next MeckEd Teacher of Excellence is Amy Platt.
Amy Platt is a 2nd grade teacher at Dilworth Elementary School, where she's a leader not only for her students, but also for her colleagues. Her command of the Common Core and her ability to differentiate instruction to meet the needs of all students is unsurpassed. Amy's principal says she's a math guru and has served as a mentor to other math teachers at the school. She is continually evaluating her students' progress, collecting resources to match their needs, and working with support staff to ensure all students are successful. She has extensive experience with the Balanced Literacy Workshop model and Math Investigations workshops. Amy also volunteers to serve as the head coach for the Dilworth Girls on the Run team.
And our last but not our least MeckEd Teacher of Excellence is Miss Jessica Kilbride.
Jessica Kilbride is a 3rd grade teacher at Albemarle Road Elementary School. In addition to her outstanding work in the classroom, Jessica has piloted take-home tablet devices for her students, tutored during the summer, and worked to ensure all of her students' families had food and gifts last Christmas. Her principal says Jessica is the definition of a lead-by-example teacher. This past February, Jessica spearheaded one of the district's largest field trips when she helped all 1,400 Albemarle Road Elementary students attend a literacy day with the Carolina Panthers.
Before I introduce the MeckEd board member and who will be our board chair next year, Richard Nichols, I do want to recognize one Teacher of Excellence who was with us last year and was also the winner of the Paul Jackson Memorial Award, and that's Greg Gabriel from Eastway. Greg, could you please stand? Thanks, Greg. Greg is really an amazing story. Greg was in private industry for many years, and 4 years ago decided that he wanted to follow his passion and become a teacher. And he exemplifies everything that a teacher of excellence should be. He's a math teacher at Eastway Middle School. The students love him, and he's in teaching for all the right reasons. So Greg, it's good to see you back here again this year. At this time, I would like to recognize Mr. Richard Nichols, board member for MeckEd and also a director with Merrill Lynch. Richard?
So good evening. The Paul Jackson Award is named in memory of an outstanding educator who went above and beyond the call of duty in and out of the classroom. Paul Jackson was the band director at Providence High School and was selected to be a part of the inaugural class of the MeckEd Teachers of Excellence. He was the teacher every principal wants in his or her classroom. And more importantly, he was the teacher all parents wanted for their child. He went out of his way to make sure every student felt special and important. He recognized the critical roles teachers play in influencing the lives of young people each and every day. Paul was diagnosed with cancer in 2005, and even while he battled his illness, he put his students' needs above his own, delaying treatment sometimes so he could direct the all-district band. Sadly, Paul lost his fight with cancer in 2012 at the age of 40. But his spirit lives on in this award, given to a member of the MeckEd Teachers of Excellence every year. This teacher exemplifies Paul's dedication to his students. We are thrilled to announce and present the 2014 Paul Jackson Award to Jessica Kilbride. Now, I could tell you a few things about Jessica and how great of a teacher she is, but let's get a couple people up here that really know. Jessica's principal, Tyler Ream, and one of her students, Adolfo Hernandez. Please come up.
I'm going to remove this for a second here. All right. Good evening. You say good evening, Adolfo?
Good evening.
So I'm going to interview Adolfo about his wonderful teacher, Miss Kilbride. So Adolfo, how many years have you been in Miss Kilbride's class?
2 years.
2 years. And is she a good teacher?
Yes. She's a great teacher.
She's a great teacher. What makes Miss Kilbride a great teacher?
She loves me and my class.
She loves you in your class. How do you know she loves you in your class?
She tells us and shows us every day.
Should Miss Kilbride be our teacher of the year?
Yes.
All right, there you have it.
Let's take a picture together. Bill?
Pretty tough act to follow, I must say. Congratulations. MeckEd is tremendously grateful to U.S. Airways for being the leadership sponsor this year for tonight's awards program. Their generous support helps us make tonight's program such a success. Please join me in welcoming Jessica Manzo of U.S. Airways, who will bring greetings from the company and make our final drawing for the night.
Hello everyone, thank you all for being here. I am thrilled to be here with you tonight. This is U.S. Airways' second year sponsoring the MeckEd Teachers of Excellence Award Dinner, and we expect it will not be the last as the new American Airlines. Education will continue to be a significant philanthropic focus of the airline, and we're honored to once again recognize the incredible accomplishment of our community's teachers. We know that by supporting education, we can help build a brighter future for the next generation, and you are part of that brighter future. With that said, we're also firmly a believer that 9 months is a long time, and every educator may be in need of a little vacation. As you enter this evening, you're asked to put your name on a card if you're an educator, and I have that container close by. So to help you along on your vacation, U.S. Airways is pleased to offer a $500 U.S. Airways gift card to one of you tonight. Is everyone ready to find out who that winner will be? Okay. Okay, and the winner is Allie Jo Tenbig. Thank you all again.
I'd just like to make a few closing comments as we end this wonderful evening, and I just want to remind everyone here, and I really feel like tonight that I'm preaching to the choir, but there really aren't adequate words to describe the impact that an excellent teacher has on the lives of the children that they teach. I think all of us tonight can remember that one special or two special teachers that had a lasting impact on us and helped mold us into the person we are today. But somehow today, in recent years, the teaching profession has somehow lost some of its respect. And it's more difficult to find young people that want to go into the profession. We all know the statistics. I don't think we need to talk about them. And while we could sit here tonight and bemoan the circumstances, I hope that we won't. I hope that we'll do something about it. And each of you in this room can do something to support our teachers in CMS and also in Mecklenburg County. At your table, each of you got one of these little cards. And these little cards are much of the work that MeckEd does around advocacy. And you might think to yourself, what does it mean to advocate? It means to push for something that you believe in. MeckEd believes very strongly that public education is the cornerstone of our democracy. It is what has helped us to be where we are as a nation. And teachers are the bedrock. Without great teachers, nothing else matters. So I do hope that you will use this little card to go online and check out the MeckEd website and see our advocacy toolkit. We want you to tell your story to our elected officials and let them know how important it is to support our teachers and to support our public schools. We cannot afford to lose any more of these wonderful teachers. I'm tired of walking around and going to different speeches and talking about 50% of all teachers are leaving the profession in the first 5 years, and that 50% of teachers in high poverty schools leave the profession in 3 years. As a former principal, some of my greatest teachers were my teachers with 20 and 25 years of experience. And when I visit schools these days, I don't see those veteran teachers as much as I used to. It's really about putting great teachers in front of our children that makes the difference. This is MeckEd's small way of recognizing 20 of the best in our community, but there are hundreds and thousands more, and we need your help. So I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, but you do have a homework assignment, and your homework assignment is to go back and look at the advocacy toolkit. It's been made very easy for you to be an advocate. Again, I would like to at this time ask all 20 of the Teachers of Excellence to rise. We thank you, we appreciate you, we value you, and we hope that you continue this great work for many years to come. And all of you teachers, we need you to go out to the risers for one more picture. Thank you very much, and good night.